Welcome to the BackPageLead football vidcast, and we're discussing the World Game today with Jonathan Howcroft, resident POM, BPL soccer expert, or are we calling it football today, Jonathan?
Oh, we'll call it whatever you like, Charlie, you're the boss.
We are in Melbourne. We're talking Champions League, and the big game between Barcelona and Manchester United is at Wembley, 4:45 Sunday morning, Eastern Australian time. Barcelona, the Spanish champions, go in as favourites and firm favourites. But, Jonathan, they meet a pretty resolute Man United team who, fashioned in the image of their manager, their feisty manager, Sir Alex Ferguson, will be no pushover.
It really is the perfect final. I mean, you've got the best team in Spain versus the best team in England, the two best leagues in Europe, probably the world. And in Barcelona, you've got the side with the best attack in the Champions League this season, and Manchester United have the best defence in the competition. So put all that together, it's tailor-made really for a perfect spectacle. I think Barca are rightly favourites. I think on paper they've got the better team. I think if you actually look through United's starting 11 and try to work out how many of those would get in Barcelona's side, you'd probably be struggling.
Yeah.
But if we've learnt one thing in the last 20, 25, 30, however many years Sir Alex Ferguson has been on the go, you just don't write him off. He always finds a way. And United's record against Barcelona overall is pretty good. And although they were pretty well outclassed in the 2009 final, they got up in the 2008 semi.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to suggest that Barcelona are just going to walk it.
Is today Ryan Giggs has been, the Manchester United winger, has been named by a British MP as being the person involved in a sex scandal, as the British tabs would have it, involving a Big Brother contestant, Jonathan. And this, of course, is front page news in the UK. There was an injunction out trying to prevent the publication of his name. That has failed because he's been named in the British Parliament. Is that going to be any sort of distraction?
I would be surprised if that was a major distraction. I think the realisation that a professional footballer is also a pantsman is, it's not great breaking news, is it? And Giggs is, he's nearing the end of his career. He's in his late 30s, and his ability to manage himself, manage his body, and be a leader within the dressing room, I think is so significant that this is unlikely to be that much of a distraction. I think the danger in terms of United on the mental side of things is getting too caught up in how Barcelona are perceived in the media, particularly in this country as well. There's a great joy in how Barcelona play, which is right and proper. But I think if United start believing that themselves, then they could come unstuck. Back in 2008, when they won in the semi-final, Patrice Evra had a man-marking job on Lionel Messi and marked him out of the game effectively. So it's important that somebody else takes on that responsibility this year. Crucially, in 2009, when Barcelona won, United were missing Darren Fletcher, who provides a lot of energy in the midfield. And he's been injured in recent weeks, so it will be interesting to see if he comes back into the starting 11 and what role he has. There were big criticisms back in the 2009 final of Michael Carrick and how he played. He's been very strong in recent weeks, so a lot of decisions still to be made before those teams run out.
Well, let's talk about Lionel Messi. Who do you imagine will be given the least enviable job in football of marking him?
I actually think this year United will take a slightly different approach. United play better when they play at a high tempo. So I think a key plank of Ferguson's message to the side will be, you play your own game and let Barca respond to you, rather than just assuming that it will be Barcelona that dominate. And with that in mind, I think it will actually be more important for United to focus on Xavi and Iniesta in the midfield. They're the metronomes that keep Barca playing. And I think if you can pressurise them, almost treat the game as a series of small kind of 3x3, very limited space games. So if you look at how teams warm up before a game, they normally put cones out and give very small, a very small surface area of a pitch to play on, and you play one-touch triangle games. I think United really need to treat the final like that, compress the space of the pitch, force Xavi and Iniesta to have as little time on the ball as possible, which means that when Messi gets it, he's actually not in that much space. United's defence is well set, and actually prevent him from damaging United in dangerous areas.
He is a man for the big stage, though, isn't he? I mean, he's clearly the person occupying Sir Alex's mind going into the game.
You would think so. You would be very surprised if they didn't have a specific plan to counter him. And as he showed in 2009, he can score with his head as well as his feet. So, but interestingly, it was probably Samuel Eto'o who damaged United most in that game. So, when you've got a side that's got David Villa and Pedro likely to line up alongside Messi in the forward line, and the depth that Barca have got throughout their squad, I think Messi will be important, but I don't believe that it will be a one-man show.
Yeah, let's talk about the venue, Wembley, which is being used for the first time since
Barcelona won in 1992.
1992. Okay. How much of a factor will that be, and will there be significantly more British support for United than Spanish? I imagine there will.
There's a lot of rumours circulating actually about how UEFA and the Met Police are managing Wembley. United have a very strong and proud history of supporters getting into grounds where perhaps they shouldn't necessarily be. Anfield, a couple of weeks ago, a couple of United fans unfurled a 19 times flag in reference to United superseding Liverpool as the most successful side in England. So you would expect there to be more United fans than Barcelona there. However, so much of the Champions League is given over to corporate guests, the various FAs within the European football community. So unfortunately, it won't be a straight 50-50 split. As far as Wembley is concerned, it's a big pitch which would suit Barcelona's style of play, but it's a slow pitch, which you might imagine if it's dry in England for the preceding week or so, that might suit United, or not suit Barcelona as much. Since Wembley was redeveloped in 2007, United's record there hasn't been that good, so the idea of it being a home from home, I don't necessarily think is that true. Yeah. And both clubs have won European Cups there, so there's great memories for them both.
Okay, I'm going to press you on a winner and perhaps the first goal scorer, and remind everyone, 4:45 Sunday, it's an early one, but get the porridge on the board about 4:30 and you'll be in business.
Well, my heart says United, my head says Barcelona, so I'm going to say United on penalties. And the first goal scorer to be Nemanja Vidic. There you go. What odds do you get on that?
What odds would you get on that? Do we know?
I don't know. I know that Barcelona are very clear favourites with the bookies. Yeah. As far as Nemanja Vidic, first goal scorer, you heard it here first.
You did hear it here first, yeah. Jonathan Howcroft, soccer/football guru, thanks for your time and look forward to speaking to you about the round ball code as we go along. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Charlie.